Hello and welcome, members of the Wandaverse. I'm Hannah.
And I'm producer Nick.
And you're listening to Into the Wandaverse, your one and only source into all things Scarlet Witch and friends. So, this week, we are back to talking about everybody's favourite cartoon, Iron Man.
So bad.
I am the...
I know we gotta, build up suspense to be like, what did we think of these episodes? I'm just gonna come straight out of the gate and just flat out just come out and just say that was one of the worst things I've seen in a long time.
I'm gonna be so for real with you. If there's people are always asking me, is there what have you stopped liking Wanda? It
might be the Iron Man 1994 cartoon.
The travesty they make of her character. So that's a teaser of what's to come. But I want to do a little shout out to Lily, our podcast artist, who has pre-orders open right now for the little tiny homemade art toys, little Wanda figures that she hand paints herself.
Wow.
Yeah, they're so gorgeous. I have one on the way, and she's actually going to be our spokesperson for Lily here on the podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to take a picture of her with a microphone.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You don't worry, that content is coming. If you can't wait to see Tiny Wanda guest on the podcast, she'll be our first Wanda.
On first one on the podcast.
But if you would like to pre-order one, go to Lily's. It always linked in the bio. So go down, support Lily, support a small artist. She also has gorgeous stickers of Rubber Duck Scarlet Witch.
I was going to say, she did a swimsuit calendar page of Wanda, and then when you swipe right on her Instagram, there's two little ducks.
Yeah, and
I did like the ducks.
She did stickers of those, and so I've got those coming as well.
Excellent.
So yeah, go and support Lily. That's an order from us. You have to. But we're going to talk about some news. It's been a little bit Wanda shy, so it's more Marvel news in general. But we are excited because Wanda is going to be in the upcoming Storm run.
What's it called? Aurora?
You mean Aurora?
Aurora?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, she's going to be in the upcoming Storm run.
Is that the name? Because I'm seeing the hashtag.
Aurora,
yeah.
Yeah. She's going to be in issues 16 to 20, and Lucas Wernick posted a picture of her and Jean. It seems like all three of them are going to be in there. So, toxic fanboy hell. And
three of them?
So Jean, Wanda, and
Oh,
Storm.
right, okay.
Yeah.
That's a party and a half, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the Mother Convention has come to town. If they could get Sue in there as well, it would be like multiverse of mothers. The Mother Quake is off the charts.
The Motherverse.
Yeah, welcome to the Motherverse. Lucas Wernick posted some art that looks like Wanda is going to be wearing either it might be a Hellfire Gala outfit or a new costume. If it's in it, I will never shut the fuck up about this outfit. If it is in here, just know I will be insufferable if this is Wanda's new outfit. The crown, that's me eating it up.
That was a noise.
That was me eating that shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The children are fed. They're fed.
Okay.
You don't believe me?
I believe you.
And we've got some exciting news because Scotland has some exciting news because Spider-Man, Nick's homeboy is coming to film in Glasgow.
Brand new day is coming to Glasgow, and I'm confused. Glasgow is not somewhere that I would think, that you can disguise that as New York City. You can disguise it as Gotham or parts of Century City. But you cannot. I don't know. I don't buy. I don't know. I have no idea where they're going with this. I keep hearing rumors of different plot directions.
We've heard that Bruce Banner's going to be in it. And then obviously we've got the casting of Sadie Sink as something. I'm really hoping for Firestar because I think that would be a really cool mutant to bring in first because she's a very I think Peter's fine to meet people at street level. Obviously...
It should be Black Cat.
She's not a mutant, though.
Why would you have to... Why does she have to be a mutant? Why does Sadie Sink have to play a mutant?
Well, I don't think... I like Sadie Sink, but I don't think she's a very good Felicia cast.
No, she's not. I think
that she might not be a love interest, but, Firestar and Spider-Man have a long history of interacting. She was in the cartoon with him.
Yeah.
And I think I do think for the wider MCU that introducing mutants the way that they introduce characters in phase 1 and 2, very casually, and especially somebody Peter's age.
It's also they've moved Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I think it's fine as long as Peter is able, like, Peter being poor and broke while the world surrounds him is fine.
Yep.
But we'll have to see what it is. But I'm excited for it to be in Glasgow. I'm always excited. Marvel, come shoot here more. I'm always excited for Marvel to shoot in Scotland. Come here. And obviously Fantastic Four tickets are now on sale. And we haven't got ours yet, but we will.
Speaking of shooting, Samuel L. Jackson's going to be in Edinburgh. Nick Fury himself.
Yeah. Second time, because he was here for, whatchamacallit. So was it Fife they shot Secret Invasion in?
Fife they shot Secret Invasion. It's the second time that Glenn Powell's been to Scotland in the space of like a year or so.
Because we have amazing tax benefits for filming.
It's for J.J. Abrams' new film.
Mm-hmm.
It's with Jenna Ortega. So
I think it's Ortega.
Ortega?
It's Ortega. Yeah.
Okay, I butchered that then. But Sam Jackson,
right after
Nick
butchering
Fury,
Storm's name. I was so confused with what you were trying to say there.
Yeah, I felt like I was really struggling there.
It's okay. So yeah, it's an exciting time. Things are moving along, but we've heard Marvel won't have a panel at Comic-Con this year.
Shock.
But again, I don't know if they're going to do it all at D23.
I think it's safe to say it's going to be a D23 thing. Like Marvel haven't done Hall H properly
for years.
For a long time.
Sells better tickets to D23.
It does.
If they
like
do
why are they why are they going to D23? Why are they doing Comic-Con if like Disney have got their own event?
Yeah, I agree to an extent, but I miss it. I like the hype. I do.
I do miss that Hall H.
I love that. I love a big moment of hype, and I'm so, because we're going through such a restructure of the MCU now. I miss, like, I mean, I've been excited for every project that comes out this year. Like, I'm actually like really hyped for Ironheart. Can't wait to see it. I think the trailer looks really good. Love Thunderbolts. We'll never forgive y'all for letting it flop. I will never forgive the general public.
I don't really buy the narrative that's flopped. It made a lot of money. Like, it still made a lot of money.
Yeah, but it's again, and I guess the box office was comparative, but the fact that people haven't showed up for this movie just makes me angry because it was so good. Like, it's literally my favorite. Like, right now, I can't wait for it to be on streaming because I am going to be watching it all the time. Like, I love it so much. And when you guys discover it on streaming and then are like, well, it's so good, I hope they Morbius and they put it back in cinemas. Is
that your impression? So this, had $180 million reported budget, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
375 million box office.
I think
in what world is that a flop?
I think it's comparative, I guess, to other Marvel projects.
I mean, the presumed budget, the reported budget of Doomsday is like 400 million, and because half of that is going to RDJ.
Well, I just really mad because I think that
bring these budgets down, guys.
I just loved it so much, and I think it was so good, and I have seen it twice in cinemas, and I wish I could see it more. I genuinely, I am so sad it's leaving cinemas, and you guys better show up for the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I mean, it is breaking records. It's breaking websites. The Fantastic Four ticket sales.
Yeah.
So good, but like, where were you guys for Thunderbolts? Huh? Where were you?
I mean, the Thunderbolts thing. Like I said, I think the narrative that it's a flop is wrong. I legitimately don't think it's a flop. The same kind of reporting that it's a flop is the same sort of reporting that we heard about Sinners being like failing in its opening weekend despite breaking box office records. Is that same kind of narrative behind these kind of box office reports? So I don't buy it personally. I don't buy it. I think it's I don't buy that it's a flop. Plus, Disney haven't come out and said anything, of the ilk that this is a disappointment for them. So.
From the fandom perspective, and I know you're not as entrenched in fandom as me, like, it's really revitalized, like, the fandom spaces that I'm in, and the amount of original art and concepts and edits and fanfics that have come out of this movie. It feels like 2012 again with like early Avengers because it's returned to that. Honestly, I think they should do like a Christmas special with the Thunderbolts in the tower. I think that would do numbers on Disney Plus. And I know this movie is going to be so loved on Disney Plus, and that's what pisses me off the most.
I mean, I still haven't seen Brave New World, and that's on Disney Plus. It's been on Disney Plus for about a good week and a bit now, and I haven't bothered to, and I probably won't until I can be asked to. But the day Thunderbolts comes out is the day that I'm going to be sat and seated watching it, rewatching it. So yeah. Fantastic Four, please turn up for Fantastic Four. Visually, it looks good, and Ralph Ineson as Galactus. You know, I've seen the concept art, and I think it's great casting.
I think it looks amazing. I'm really excited, and
they've gone full Jack Kirby. Bring it on.
I am gonna continue to be a voice of light and love in this community for every project that comes out this year. Watch me.
Eyes of Wakanda's out this year, isn't it?
Yes, and so is we're gonna be covering Marvel Zombies on this channel because we have to. Yeah, no, smile. Yeah. We're lights and sunshine and brightness. Woohoo!
Whoa.
We suffered for you guys. We watched the whole of Iron Man 1994 and
Season 1.
Yeah, I genuinely am so glad she's only in 2 episodes of Season 2. Not that she was really in Season 1. Like, I'm gonna be so real with you guys.
No, there were side characters that had more dialogue than the supposed main side character.
What you need to know about this show is that nobody is in character at all. No, nobody. Wanda is a weeping mess who, her and Sentry are on this team, but are the most underused you've ever seen characters be underused in your life.
As we said on the previous episode, we spoke about this. So we covered the episodes 1 through to 6 or 7, and then now we're doing the other half of season 1 up to episode 13, and then at some point I think next week we're going to do the 2 episodes that she's in season 2. It's Sentry is Century, not Sentry as in the character from Thunderbolts, by the way.
Yeah, no. I wish it was him.
I mean, if it was him, it probably would still be really underpowered and really underutilized.
It's crazy because what happens is this is a description of every single episode. There is a problem, and Tony has this giant team of people. And then Tony just goes by himself, and then they'll be like, powerful members of the team, like, should we help? And then somebody, usually War Machine or Julia Carpenter, will be like, no, he said he wants to do it by himself. And you're like, but why?
And then when the team does go off to help him, Wanda stays behind.
Or she'll be in the stupid jet plane. Because she can't fly in this. For whatever reason, she's using her probability hex powers-ish, or her hex scent, she's calling it. She's also doing about 100 different Eastern European stereotypes, like, in the background. She's got tarot cards, her hex sense is going off. They never define anybody's power set. We said this is the first time. And then I want to point out, last time we were talking about this, we were like, it's less racist than some of the other cartoons, only for some of the racistest episodes to come right after the Mandarin's backstory. Mess. Yinsen, when he shows up.
Yeah.
A mess.
Tony's backstory.
A mess. They called his dad Walter.
Yeah.
Walter. Yeah, Walter, and it wasn't Maria. I can't remember what he called his mother. The thing is we watch these episodes, and I have seen most of this before, but I obviously chose not to remember it the first time I watched it.
I said this last time, my introduction to Iron Man, the character from these 90s cartoons, was from the episodes where he shows up in the Spider-Man, and he's pretty good in that. He shows up, he does the 1-2 pretty cool things, and I thought, oh, this Iron Man cartoon can't be that bad. It's atrocious. It's really, really rough.
Look, I love to be positive. I love to love things, but I can't love this. The misogyny is crazy.
Every woman loves Tony for some reason.
Yes, even Hypnotia, who is an original character, by the way, for this series, has never appeared again.
Dreadnought and Black. What's his name? Dreadnought and what are the other ones? Whiplash. Whiplash.
Yeah.
Because he's called something else, but Dreadnought and Whiplash are fighting over Hypnotia.
And she's like, "No, I love Tony Stark."
Yeah, she's got this really breathy, whispery voice, and it's I don't know. We're kind of meant to stretch this out over a little bit and talk about the episodes. That was kind of the plan, but the problem is Wanda's just not in it. So we can talk about the problems with it in terms of Wanda, what's that service is that going to do? I think
the issue is I understand why they made the right creative choice in the second season whereby they cut out the Force Works team almost entirely because they weren't willing. If the show was called Force Works, it would make more sense if they focus on all the characters, but they don't. It's entirely the Tony. I mean, I know it's the Iron Man show, but then you have this massive supporting cast of both villains and teams, and so it just doesn't make a lot of. And the Force Works comic is nothing like this. Like, the Force Works comic is, some people don't like it. I quite like it. I think it's an interesting run, but it's odd that they would then, I guess they wanted to sell comics, but if you went to the comics having watched the show, like, Tony's, like, full-blown, like, he's like, Wanda, I can't run a team because I'm an alcoholic, is, like, how it starts. And so, you know, it's such a different set of things that it's almost confusing to put those two together. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, I guess if you're a Hawkeye fan, there's some interesting Hawkeye stuff.
There's an episode where they're trying to figure out whether Hawkeye is a double agent or a spy or something from the Mandarin, which I think is the best episode.
Maybe.
I think it's the one that makes the most plot sense. There's like a two-parter where the Mandarin obviously is like trying to attack Tony, and Tony's stuck in a glacier and what have you.
Oh god, that was one of the hardest watches.
And like it's a two-parter. The narrator of the first part, he like just explains the plot of what happened in the previous episode, and I can't tell you how much of a relief that was, because even though I just watched the episode previous, like, the plot made no sense. And I know that these cartoons are meant for kids, and this is 90s level, like, you know, this is the era of Power Rangers and Street Sharks and Biker Mice from Mars, and like, this is the era of cartoon that I grew up with. There was still good stuff back then. Like, Disney's Gargoyles was the same era. Batman, the animated series, was the same era. My beloved Spider-Man animated TV show. Like, there's no reason for the writing and to be this poor. The animation can be poor because at the end of the day you got to make it cheap, but the writing is really poor.
The 2D animation is fine. The 3D bit is...
The CGI bit is dated.
Beyond questionable. But the 2D animation's fine. Obviously it's not a visual masterpiece in any way, but it's fine. It's not the thing I would critique. Some of the voice acting some of it's fine. Obviously the direction is to kind of be as over the top as possible. Some of the background lines are odd, but for me, it's the lack of depth given to any character. Like, and you know, I know they're for kids, but, you know, we grew up, you know, the X-Men show is from the same era.
Yeah, the X-Men 94, yeah.
The levels of not... Wanda is essentially reduced to weird... Like, again, it's so difficult to say what she's reduced to because there's just no substance.
I would be really interested to know, like, how this worked, like, between all the Marvel shows together, where you had the Fantastic Four, one Spider-Man, the Iron Man cartoon, and X-Men kind of running concurrent, you know, concurrently, like, so I'd be interested to know what the background is behind that, because I know John Semper did the Spider-Man cartoon, and his was like, you know, that's excellent. Like, he's still really active on Facebook, and he talks a lot about, like, all the different episodes and the voice actors and all the guest stars he had on and all the writing, and like, he talks a lot about how you know, they never got to finish it with season 5. Like, at the end of season 5, they didn't want to finish the storyline and yada yada yada. And obviously, every time like Marvel or Sony brings out a character, like Madam Web movie, for example, he was like, I had Madam Web before, you know, or like, you know, I had so and so before. I'm
pretty sure Firestar is in that cartoon.
Yeah, she probably is. You know, like, he's pretty good like that. Whereas, like, I don't literally the consensus, and obviously you get the X-Men stuff where you got X-Men 97, which is like huge.
We're going to talk about that relatively soon.
Yeah, that's coming up in a few. The X-Men 90s Family Ties episode, which she's in. But I'd be interested to know, like, how that whole background kind of works, in terms of, like, the different showrunners, and because at the end of the day, this is the same like direction Marvel television animation.
What's interesting is I know the writer. I think I can't remember the writer or the showrunner also ran the very successful Transformers series from this era. He wrote the
a lot earlier. The Transformers cartoon was a lot earlier. It's like 10 years earlier.
Well, it's the same. Yeah, but it's the same guy.
Yeah.
It's just I want to know. Like, obviously, there's segments where I'm like, this is to sell toys, like all the different Iron Man suits that we're seeing and all the different versions and the dragons and the. I looked and there are quite a few figures from this.
Toygenic. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just. Honestly, I want to say something about this Wanda, and I'm actually struggling to... Well, she's just there to whinge and fight with Julia, and then occasionally provide magical services that are undefined.
She moves a mountain at one point. Like, she creates a mountain out of nothing, and it's like, where the hell is this? Why haven't you been able to do this? And all the other times
I'm really feeling a Koye's line from the Infinity War. Like, why was she over there? Why was she up there all this time? Now, us with her and Sentry, like, it's crazy. He has, like, the souls of the entire planet, like, inside of him. Yes. And occasionally...
He's a really cool character.
He's so cool. Honestly, I want where's the Wonder and Sentry spin-off that we all need? You know they had a romance in the Forceworks run?
Okay, we're covering Forceworks in a few weeks. Like
I'm honestly think
I'm looking forward
I honestly think that I don't know if we're gonna have to get a whole episode of Iron Man season 2.
Well, okay, so I'm thinking about this. Right? So the Iron Man season 2, we've got it blocked out for next week and say that this is what we're going to cover. We're going to talk about the 2 episodes that she's in. I'm going to do some digging to try and actually get to the bottom of actually what happened with this, because like I feel like it's worth.
Is this your dissertation?
This will be my 3rd dissertation that I've done.
This is your Roman Empire now.
Yeah, this is my Roman Empire.
I've seen some of the production, like how heavily they changed it in the 2nd season because of what a mess this first season was.
I want to get into like the dealing of the 1st season. That's what I really want to know.
Mm-hmm. I'm just curious, but we're going to read the Forceworks run and talk about that because I love
next week,
but we're gonna do that because I love the Forceworks run and I'm
looking forward to it.
I it's maybe just me. Maybe I'm just nostalgic because it's my era. But I'm excited about it. And then we'll be heading towards X-Men 97 and then Avengers United They Stand. I think it's so funny that's going to be a goddamn masterpiece compared with where you've been. The way that Nick is going to Avengers United They Stand is not good, but it seems like Sinners compared to like what we just went through. It's funny because I recently watched some Avengers United They Stand because I got the DVD and I couldn't watch the DVD, but I did watch it, and I was thinking, wow, this has so much plot in comparison to what we've been watching. It's so funny. You'll see, they really went for the Hank Pym and Hawkeye are assholes angle in Avengers United They Stand. But yeah, I really don't. Also, the questionable ass pink blazer she wears for a lot of this series really pisses me off.
Yeah, like the it's this unitard like swimsuit thing that she's kind of got that has a front, but then doesn't have a back, so her ass is just there.
Which is not comic accurate because it's got a skirt both sides in the comic.
Yeah,
because they really cared about continuity. What sums it up, and I think we said this in the first episode, but I'm gonna drag it home again. Is that in the opening credits they introduce every villain by name and in War Machine, but then they don't even say the Forceworks team. You wouldn't know they were called the Forceworks team. I don't think it's ever mentioned.
No, they're not even called.
Also, they don't say most of their names. I don't think Barton. Oh no, it does.
No, they call him. The Hawkeye got his own episode. Sentry is called Sentry quite a lot, but Wanda is just called Wanda. Or she's called, or she calls herself the Scarlet Witch. Mm-hmm. It's
but
very
she's
strange.
Called Wanda Frank. But I think that's just because they didn't want to have to even begin to discuss the mutant angle.
Yeah, because if they'd have called her Wanda Maximoff, there would have been
Where's Pietro?
There would have been some kids out there going, "Oh, hang on a minute, I'm watching the X-Men cartoon. That Magneto's name is Maximoff. No, it isn't. It's not.
It's not. No.
What is it?
It's Lenschner or Eisenhart.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Maximoff comes from their adoptive parents.
Have I got that completely wrong?
Yeah.
I've got that completely wrong.
Yeah, they've never shared. They've shared Magneto's Lenshner last name in a bunch of different.
Okay, so but Pietro is in
PH.
the X-Men cartoon.
No. X-Men 97. They're only in 2 episodes. One.
X-Men 94, you mean?
No, X-Men 97. The original. Well, yeah. The original X-Men cartoon that we're covering in a couple weeks.
Yeah, so X-Men 97 is the one that's just come out. And does
but it's the same It's a continuation of the original.
Because it ended in 1997.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're only in 1 episode, really, which focuses on them.
Okay, right.
So the kids wouldn't know them from that, but they would know the mutants.
Yeah.
And they are known as Magneto's children if you've read any comic of that era. Especially because Pietro is quite associated with the X-Men. Wanda less so, because she's very much an Avenger, which is why they then did the split in between Fox and Marvel, because Wanda's always been more of an Avenger, whereas Pietro has had a lot, because of his romances and his interactions. I mean, he's also spent a lot of time with the Inhumans, but, but yes. No, their last name... Magneto's last name is not okay. Maximoff comes from their adoptive parents or / uncle.
Why did I think that?
I don't know.
Okay.
We've definitely covered it on the...
Yeah.
We need to... I don't know, if people who've been listening to the podcast for a long time know that it used to have a very different format, which was just me reading... I would write the episode and then I would read it like a script, because that's how I thought you podcasted at the beginning. Whereas now, obviously, we have this more conversational style, but I do maybe think we should go back and recover those old issues, because I think you don't remember anything I was saying. I'm gonna be so for real. I don't think you listen to a word I say most of the time now. I do feel possibly abandoned. But no, but yes, I think that they just put her in the credits as Wanda Frank because they didn't want to have to explain anything about her complicated backstory.
Okay.
But you wouldn't know anyway. It doesn't matter. The Frank thing does not come up. We do not get to know that would imply that her father actually is a superhero who's got his powers through mongoose blood. That was Daddy number 1 before she was Magneto's kid. That was Daddy number 1. You love that, don't you?
I love it.
But he was called the Wizard, her original dad. Maybe we should do a whole episode on the Wizard.
The Wizard.
The Wizard. He got his power of super speed through mongoose blood.
Okay.
Nick is looking at me like he doesn't believe me. But
no, I'm kind of looking at the clock because we're barely scraping 30 minutes on this thing.
Don't say that. Don't say it like we're trying to stretch it out. Just be conversation. Now that people think that we don't love this, we love it. We do the podcast for the love of it. How would you? Okay, take it from this angle. How would you have improved? You couldn't use the characters you've still got. How would you have improved it? How would you restructure this show? Because you're about to go into season 2 where they did restructure the show. So say you were gonna restructure the show, how would you do it?
I mean, it would be structured in a way that you can still have like the origin episodes, but you would have the origin episodes kind of up front.
Mm-hmm.
But like obviously because this would be aired on it would have been aired on Fox Kids, so they air them way out of order and stuff. But you would still have all these like one episode things. So you would make sure there's a Wanda episode, a Hawkeye episode, a Sentry episode, which is what the Spider-Man animated cartoon did.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all the villains kind of got a standalone kind of backstory and like
because there was a MODOK backstory episode.
There was a MODOK, but
we got MODOK and not the Mandalorian.
Mandarin.
Oh my god, Pedro Pascal was not in this.
No, he was not.
See, I would do establishing how the team came together would be a really smart episode.
Yeah.
Why these people? Also, like a mention of the Avengers, maybe, because that's how Wanda, Clint, and Tony all met.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. Also, the fact that Rhodey wasn't in Tony's backstory episode is kind of insulting. That's rude.
One of the main differences between this and the Spider-Man cartoon is that with the Spider-Man cartoon, Christopher Daniel Barnes basically runs a narration through the whole entire episode, where you don't have that kind of narrative device in this Iron Man cartoon. You don't have it obviously in the X-Men one, but the X-Men one is very, very structured in terms of like, look, we're adapting these. We have so many casts of characters. We're adapting this storyline, this storyline, this storyline. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and I've not seen the Fantastic Four one. I'm really curious actually now to watch that. But like the Spider-Man cartoon, like that's very much like you have this narrative device where it's like there's the narration kind of carries you through the episode. And you just don't have that. Like, when Tony is behind his mask, like, he's just talking, but you're not seeing it, you're not hearing anything.
He like, talks to himself a bunch of times.
But it's like, it's not a narration. It's not like talking, like, through the episode, which is what Spider-Man really cleverly did.
Honestly, you really could have used Jarvis, either in Butler form or in some form of AI. You really could have used that in terms of, I think it would have helped to structure. And I don't know why they didn't do that, because Jarvis is such a huge Iron Man character. We're missing Pepper, we're missing Happy, we're missing all the key Iron Man characters except Rhodey, I guess. Which is fine, again, I guess. But I just, my biggest wish and hope would have been, if I didn't know that season 2... that Wanda would get better, but I know she's barely in it. No, I'm not going to spoiler it. I was about to
don't spoil it, because I'm really looking forward to watching season 2.
And you're going to watch the whole thing when I'm not
I probably will, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm not. I've only seen the episodes Wanda's in. I never.
I mean, I'm devoted.
Oh wow, you're his biggest fan? I'm going to get you the poster for Christmas.
Please don't. If you're going to get me any poster, get me the Spider-Man one. I want one of those.
Okay, well, that's not my business.
Okay.
You know what I was just thinking, and it's got nothing, because I was thinking, like, what animated shows I love to see, and obviously I've said it a million times, I think House of Harkness should get the comic run should get one. But also, for MCU canon, do you know what I would absolutely love? A Howling Commandos and Captain America cartoon.
That would
because the fact that we didn't get to see Captain America fight Red Skull like that much, and that Red Skull was defeated like immediately, kind of lives.
You never got like, I know there was a cartoon that was pitched to Marvel in like 2009, and it was meant to cover like all the different Marvel eras, like decades, and the animation style was meant to be like, the Blade one was meant to be the Punished one was meant to be like a 70s style animation. The Captain America one was meant to be 40s. There was like, I can't remember what the other ones were, but like they were all kind of like, Wolverine one was like the start of the 90s, I think. Like, that would have been really cool to kind of have something along those kind of lines.
Well, here's my 5 pitches. If I got to pitch 5 animation projects.
Feige, listen, please.
Please. House of Harkness, because I just think that there's something really there for magical girl cartoons.
I think House of Harkness, in like how you had X-Men Evolution.
Well, yeah, have Wanda and Agatha at this magic school. Steven's also like
skewed a bit younger. They're like teenagers.
All skewed a bit younger. Then you've got like, you can put Storm in there because she's a witch. You can put who else was in there? I'm suddenly like she's on the edge of my tongue. Nico.
Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah.
All these girlies who are going to sell really well to young women. A lot of them have been introduced in Rivals now. And you can also throw in characters from Agatha, so Jennifer Kale and Alice Wu, all these people that people know.
You can have like some of like
Stick Loki in there as well.
Yeah, you can have some of like the Werewolf by Night characters like Swamp Thing.
And so that's your magical cartoon.
Yeah.
Then Howling Commandos cartoon.
Yeah.
Because that would sell so well. Dads would love it too. But the thing is the young women, the gays and the dads would show up with the Stucky cartoon, I'm calling it.
Go on.
And then I would definitely go for a Blade cartoon, like vampire slaying.
Yeah.
Bring in Midnight Suns, a Midnight Suns cartoon, but not like the Stephen Strange version. Like bring in like what's his name? Why is something forgotten his name? Ghost Rider and like Moon Knight, all of these kind of, and then because that would be really dark and fun and horror-y.
Yeah.
And then I would go for I think they should bring back just a fun old classic Avengers cartoon. Like, people would eat that up.
Yeah.
People yearn for the Tower fix of 2012. A Thunderbolts cartoon would also work super well. People crave that, like, found family style, and there's neither universe is doing that right now.
It's just Spidey and his amazing friends, isn't it?
And then there's also Iron Man and his amazing friends come up, but that's skewed so young.
Yeah.
It's Nick. It's very, very little kids that watch
5
that.
years old. Kind
Yeah,
of.
it's very simple, and that's great for that audience. But you want something for like the 7 to 12 market.
Yeah.
Which is right before you come to MCU. So sell them a Thunderbolts cartoon / an Avengers cartoon. Sell that to them because
doesn't even have to be canon.
No, but that's the thing. And then finally, and here's the pitch of a lifetime.
Go on.
The pitch of a lifetime. Let's do a Team Red cartoon. So Spider-Man, Daredevil, Deadpool. Just do it. It would sell 1 million t-shirts. It would make men in their 30s insufferable. But
as a man in his 30s, that would... Yes, that would...
You have the guest stars from The Punisher, guest stars from The Defenders, like, bring Natasha in there for some,
some reason.
Or a Red Room cartoon. A Red Room cartoon. I would eat that the way I would devour that. The thing is like, animated projects should be the bread and butter. And neither, like, DC and Marvel are kind of slacking off.
DC's the surprising one because they were really good at it.
Well, I mean, the Harley Quinn series is quite good.
Yeah.
I like the Harley Quinn series. But yeah, I want to see more animated shows, and I think that we should be not as scared of... I mean, there's some shows that could be canon to the MCU, like the Howling Commandos cartoon, or the people yearn to know more about the Red Room. People want to know.
It's the thing, like, you go on Disney Plus, and the only animated cartoons is what...
What If
and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
The X-Men.
And X-Men.
And, that's it.
That's kind of it.
We need more, and
the animation, I don't... It's going to be coming out there. I don't think the animation in What If is particularly good.
It's not my favourite.
It's not, and then I don't really like the style of the Spider-Man card.
I know a lot of people do, though. It's just not... I just want to see... I think a Howling Commandos one would be so fun, and you could do it quite old-style animation. I think that House of Harkness could be their Winx Club. I really think that people don't understand how much the girlies yearn for a Magic Girl show.
Yep.
And neither DC... Because DC could do the same thing with Zatanna.
I mean, DC did Teen Titans, how many times? Like 3 times?
Well, the people love Teen Titans.
They love the Teen Titans.
But that's the thing. We need a classic Avengers show and do the new Avengers, do the Thunderbolts, and like actually do deep backstory stuff, because like
it really helps.
It really helps, and you can get adults and kids invested. And I know that Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man sells merch. Now they're doing the Amazing Iron Man and his amazing friends, and I'm like, have you ever heard of any women?
I think one of the things is because everything is on Disney Plus, and like it shows up on the homepage for like 5 minutes and then it disappears again, and like it's not we are no longer in the time of like sticking on Fox Kids and just watching whatever's on Fox Kids, like, or CBBC or ITV or Milkshake if you were really poor, but like
many more milkshakes.
but like my point is, like, we are no longer in that era, so like
But come back.
I know it's a case of just come back, but the point is, like, we've just sat down and watched the Disney Plus having the Iron Man 90s cartoon on there, the Spider-Man cartoons on there, the Fantastic Four cartoons on there. It's all there. Like, yeah, so why? Like, I can see why they're thinking, why are we doing this? Like, the Avengers cartoons are on there. Like, why are they doing it again when it's all on there? Like, you see what I mean? I don't get me wrong. I want to see like the House of Harkness. I want to see these new things come up. I would love the X-Men Evolution kind of style of like House of Harkness, where you said those characters all skewing younger. Yeah. Because that was like crack to me at the age of like 10, 11.
I just think that would help with this new MCU divide that we have. I know that stuff is on Disney Plus. Yeah. But I think if we were introducing the characters, that a lot of the characters that are now important in the MCU don't have content that's on for kids, for actual children to get into them before they enter the MCU. And you need, also children do want what's new and shiny.
The problem is, I think they're very, very concerned, Marvel, that is, very, very concerned with what's canon and what's not, especially with all the confusion around like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Cloak and Dagger and Gifted. Was it Gifted?
The Gifted, yeah.
The Gifted, Legion, like all these shows that are like tangentially related to like all these properties, and it all adds up to this question of like what's related and what isn't. And like I I know, and the reason why Spidey and his Amazing Friends is the whole thing is there is because that's kind of like a Sony thing. Like, it's like tangentially related to Sony, so of course like they're gonna like market it out to like the nth degree. So I don't know.
But yeah. Anyway, let's make more animated projects and let's give Wanda an animated project that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Please. I'm begging you. I'm begging.
So next week, you get to hear Hannah talk about 2 episodes of the Iron Man cartoon, and you get to hear me pull my hair out.
Yeah.
Because I watched the whole of season 2.
And you know what?
And hopefully dive in. I'll hopefully find out why it was the way it was.
And you're gonna make sure you know Magneto's last name.
Last name, yeah. I should know that because like I have Patrick Stewart's voice in my head when he says Eric Lancashire. Like. Yeah. I don't know why that came out.
Yeah.
Why that came out of my mouth.
It's okay. We all make mistakes. I didn't know that there was a second issue the other day. I just thought the story went nowhere.
I mean, that would have been peak 90s.
We all knew it. Everyone makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
I think that's probably the problem is that we are kind of in this 90s era where like nothing makes any sense.
And we're staying in the 90s for like a long time after this.
For a little bit. Yeah, quite a bit. So like we're kind of stuck in this kind of like 90s. It doesn't really make much sense. The Clone Saga was the 90s for crying out loud. Do you want me to talk about Kane and Ben Reilly and Peter Parker?
No, I don't. Okay. Well, we think once Nick's got onto that, it's time to wrap things up. So, first off, we'd like to thank Lily, as always, for her gorgeous, gorgeous podcast art, because she is a genius, and Marvel should hire her to do the concept art for House of Harkness. If you can't wait to see more of me, you're like absolutely yearning for it, you're desperate, you can find me over on TikTok at Into the Wandaverse, on Instagram at The Wandaverse, most other places either Into the Wandaverse or The Wandaverse. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, on the Film Nick, where I should be doing more posting, but I'm not because I'm bad. He says that every week. I say that every week, and I've been busy. I'm like, so you should shoot this. Literally, we're out in the wild. I'm like, you should shoot this, Nick. And he looks at me and then he just carries on with his day. Yeah. So, anyway. You can find me on Letterboxd on the Film Nick as well. So that's where I am. Thank you always to Melody Ray Griffiths for the music. And until we see you next time, stay magical.